All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into some pretty interesting financial waters.
Oh, sounds intriguing.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at Medi Assist Healthcare Services Ltd's Q2 results for fiscal year 2025.
Ah, yes. Medi Assist, the giants in India's health insurance third-party administrator market.
Exactly. They're the ones handling a huge chunk of the country's health insurance claims and processes.
Really a major player in the Indian healthcare space.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we're going to be going beyond just the numbers, right? We'll be looking at their official financial reports.
Of course.
We've got a review by their auditors. And of course, we'll take a peek at their investor presentation.
Yeah, getting the full picture, so to speak.
Exactly. We really want to get a sense of Medi Assist's health, so to speak, both literally and figuratively.
Aha, I like that.
So before we get lost in all these numbers, could you give us a quick lay of the land? What's the Indian health insurance market looking like these days?
Well, in a word, it's booming. It's expected to grow by around 23% annually, and Medi Assist, they're right at the forefront.
Really?
Oh yeah, they hold a 19.2% market share, which means they handle nearly a fifth of all health insurance premiums in India.
Wow, that's impressive.
And they also had their IPO earlier this year, back in January.
Right. Big moment for the company.
Huge milestone.
So no wonder they're attracting so much attention.
Yeah, definitely one to watch.
So let's get into their financials for the first half of FY 2025. What's the story they're telling?
Okay, so starting with the basics, their total income reached INR 360 crore.
Okay.
That's a pretty healthy 15.4% jump compared to the same time last year.
A solid increase.
Now, just to make sure we're comparing apples to apples, we should really zero in on their operating revenue.
Right, the core business revenue.
Exactly. That's the money they're making directly from their customer base, and that came in at INR 348.5 crore, showing the same 15.4% growth.
So a good sign their core business is doing well.
Yeah, definitely a positive indicator there.
So their core business is bringing in the big bucks, but where's all this revenue coming from? Any surprises in that breakdown?
Well, most of it, as we said, comes from their core operations.
Right.
But it's interesting to note that 9.8% is from government contracts, and another 4.7% comes from their international benefits arm, Mayfair We Care.
Oh, okay, so they're not just relying on one revenue stream.
No, not at all. Diversifying their portfolio, which is a smart move.
Especially in a market as dynamic as healthcare.
Absolutely. Got to stay adaptable.
But you know what everyone really wants to know is how profitable are they?
Yes, the bottom line.
The bottom line.
Well, their operating EBITDA, that's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, comes in at a healthy INR 73.7 crore.
Okay, EBITDA. So essentially a measure of their core profitability.
Right, just looking at their operations, and that number represents an 18.1% increase year over year.
So they're getting more efficient.
Definitely becoming more effective at what they do.
That's good to hear. But let's talk real profit. What's their profit after tax, after all the expenses are taken care of?
So their P2T, profit after tax, is a whopping INR 40 crore.
Wow, that's a significant number.
Yeah, that's a 65% jump compared to the previous year.
So they're definitely making money.
Oh, absolutely. And their profit margin on their total income is a respectable 11.1%.
Not bad at all, but profitability is just one part of the story. Well, what about their overall financial health? Are they in a good position?
I'd say they are. One thing that stands out is their net cash on hand.
Okay.
It's sitting at a hefty INR 300.9 crore.
So they've got a nice cushion.
Yeah, and their return on net worth is a solid 16% annualized.
Those are good signs.
These numbers tell us they're managing their finances well and they're in a strong position for future growth.
That's definitely reassuring to hear. Sounds like they're in a good spot financially.
Yeah, no doubt.
But how about their actual operations? Are they growing or just getting better at squeezing profits from their existing business?
Good question. To gauge that, we need to look at their premium under management, or PUM. Think of it as the total value of the insurance premiums they're managing.
So the bigger the PUM, the more business they're handling.
Exactly. And as of September 30th, 2024, their total PUM reached a massive INR 10,583 crore, an increase of 18.1% year over year.
Wow, that's a lot of growth. They're not just sitting around.
No, they're definitely expanding.
But within that, are they seeing growth across the board? Or are there specific areas that are really taking off?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. Their group PUM, which comes from those large employer-sponsored plans, is INR 9,343 crore, a decent 15.6% increase.
Okay, so steady growth there.
But their retail PUM, coming from individual policies, now that's where we see a big jump. It's at INR 12,240 crore, a massive 41.2% increase year over year.
Wow, that's incredible growth in the retail segment.
They're clearly doing something right to attract those individual customers.
It seems like they are. And does all this translate to them gaining more market share?
You bet. Their total market share has climbed to 19.2%, up from 18.5% last year.
Okay, so they're taking a bigger piece of the pie.
And they're especially strong in the group segment, where they hold a commanding 28.4% market share. But it's that retail segment, now at 5.6% market share, that's really showing the most impressive gains.
Yeah, they seem to be doing well on all fronts, and I've read that they're really tech-focused.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about what they're doing with technology? What makes them so special in that regard?
Sure, they're really all about leveraging technology to make things easier for customers, streamlining processes and providing more value to the insurers they work with.
Right, using tech to improve the whole experience.
Yeah, exactly.
But can you give us some specific examples of how they're doing that?
Well, one really cool thing they've done is this instant resolution feature they've launched.
Heard about that.
Basically, it allows customers to see the outcome of their claims even before the final payout happens.
Oh, that's really cool.
It gives them transparency, peace of mind, and helps reduce those complaints and disputes.
Yeah, no one wants to be left in the dark.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Definitely. So what other tech tricks do they have up their sleeves?
Well, they're using AI in some really interesting ways.
Okay, like how?
Take their Maven fraud detection engine, for example.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's quite impressive.
It really is. It's getting so good at sniffing out those fraudulent claims.
Saving the insurers a lot of money, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Over 60% growth in savings for insurers. It's quite remarkable.
Wow, and has it won any awards or anything?
Yes, it has actually several awards for their innovative use of AI.
Really? So they're not just claiming to be innovative, they're actually getting recognized for it.
They're walking the walk.
That's impressive. Are there any other AI innovations that are worth mentioning?
Oh, absolutely. They have another system called Raksha Prime. It uses predictive models to estimate hospital bills. And this has facilitated over 38,000 express checkouts and discharges from hospitals.
Wow, so it's really making things easier for patients.
Exactly. Imagine how much less stressful the hospital experience is with that kind of efficiency.
Yeah, it sounds like they're really leveraging tech to improve the healthcare journey for everyone.
They really are.
So we've established they're financially strong, they're growing rapidly, and they're using technology in really innovative ways. But let's be real for a second. What are some of the challenges they're facing? Because, no business is without its hurdles.
That's true. And one of the biggest challenges for anyone in the health insurance space in India is navigating the regulatory landscape.
Right, because it's constantly changing.
Exactly. New rules and regulations can pop up all the time, so Medi Assist needs to stay agile and adapt quickly.
Yeah, that's important in any industry, really.
Absolutely. You got to be on your toes.
And what about the competition? Are there other players trying to get a piece of their market share?
Oh, absolutely. The competition is fierce. There are other TPAs out there who would love to have Medi Assist's market share, so they can't afford to get complacent.
It's a constant battle for dominance.
Yeah, you could say that.
And speaking of battles, are there any internal struggles they're facing? Any weaknesses we should be aware of?
Well, like many companies that are growing rapidly, they face the challenge of balancing their investments in growth while maintaining profitability.
It's that classic dilemma. Spend money to grow, but make sure you're still making a profit.
Exactly. They need to invest in new technologies, explore acquisitions, and expand into new markets.
But at the same time, they need to be careful not to overspend.
Yeah, it's a delicate balancing act for sure.
So how are they planning to navigate these tricky waters and maintain their leading position?
Well, that's a great question, and it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll take a closer look at their strategies and how they plan to tackle these challenges head-on.
All right, folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick break to uncover how Medi Assist plans to stay ahead of the game in this ever-evolving market. So we're back, and we're really digging into Medi Assist's game plan here.
Yeah, they're not just sitting back and enjoying the ride, are they?
No, they're definitely not. It's clear they're taking a proactive approach to tackling those challenges.
Absolutely. A multi-pronged approach, you could say.
Right. They're focused on staying agile with those regulatory changes, outpacing their competitors through innovation,
Right.
And of course, carefully balancing those investments for sustainable growth.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is. So how are they managing to stay so agile with all those regulatory changes? I mean, the Indian health insurance market can be pretty unpredictable, right?
Oh, it definitely can be, but they seem to have a good handle on it.
Okay.
I mean, they have a really deep understanding of the landscape, and they're good at adapting.
Right. So sometimes that means adjusting their products and services.
Ex-
Sometimes it's streamlining their internal processes.
Mhm.
And sometimes it might even mean looking at new partnerships.
Yeah, they're not afraid to shake things up when they need to.
So how are they making sure they stay ahead of the competition?
Well, they're focused on technology, on innovation. That's a key differentiator.
Right. Constantly coming up with those new solutions and features.
Yeah, improving the customer experience,
Making things more efficient.
providing valuable insights to those insurers they work with. It's a win-win-win.
You mentioned earlier automation, data analytics, and digital customer experiences. Can you elaborate on how those specific areas are giving them a competitive advantage?
Sure. So automation, it's all about making things faster, smoother,
Streamlining those processes
reducing errors, operating more efficiently, which ultimately saves them money.
and allows them to offer competitive pricing.
Exactly. It's appealing to both customers and insurers.
What about data analytics? How are they using that to their advantage?
Well, they have a ton of data from all those claims they process, right?
Right.
And they're using analytics to extract some really valuable insights from that data.
So they can identify trends, understand customer behavior.
Make data-driven decisions, improve their products and services.
So it's almost like having a crystal ball to see what's coming next.
In a way.
Yeah. And what about the digital customer experience? How important is that in today's world?
Oh, it's crucial, especially for attracting those, younger, tech-savvy customers.
Right.
They've invested heavily in creating those user-friendly apps and websites,
So people can manage their health insurance easily,
submit claims, track their coverage, all that good stuff.
making it convenient.
Absolutely. No one wants to deal with clunky interfaces or complicated processes.
Okay, so technology is clearly a big part of their success.
For sure.
But let's go back to the financial side for a second.
Okay.
How are they managing to invest so heavily in growth while still staying profitable? I mean, it's a difficult balance to strike.
It is, but their strong financial position gives them a lot of flexibility.
Right, that cash reserve we talked about.
Exactly. That allows them to invest in those new technologies, explore acquisitions.
Like the one they're making with Paramount Health Services.
And expand into those new markets.
So that cash gives them some breathing room to make those moves.
But it's not just about spending money. It's about spending it wisely.
Right, being strategic.
They carefully evaluate every opportunity to make sure it aligns with their long-term goals.
And that it'll generate a return.
Absolutely. And they're laser focused on optimizing their existing operations as well.
Okay, so it's a combination of smart spending and operational efficiency.
You got it.
But what about the people behind all of this? Who's steering the ship?
Well, Medi Assist has a really experienced leadership team.
With a lot of experience in healthcare and insurance, I imagine.
Absolutely. Their CEO, Satish Gidugu, he's a veteran in the field.
Okay.
And their board of directors, they have a wide range of expertise.
Healthcare, insurance, finance, the whole gamut.
So they've definitely got the right mix to navigate this complex market.
It sounds like we've talked a lot about the present, but what about the future? What's next for Medi Assist?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, but to answer that, we need to look beyond just Medi Assist, right?
We need to consider the bigger trends shaping the Indian healthcare landscape.
Okay, so let's put on our futurist hats for a moment.
Yeah.
What are some of those trends and developments we should be paying attention to?
Well, one of the most significant trends is the increasing penetration of health insurance in India.
Meaning more people are getting covered.
Exactly. More and more people are recognizing the importance of having that health coverage.
And that's driving demand for health insurance products.
Huge demand.
So bigger market means more opportunities for Medi Assist.
Oh, absolutely. As the market expands, they're in a prime position to grab a larger share.
But of course, more players might enter the market as well.
Yeah, increased competition comes with the territory.
So growth potential, but also a need to stay sharp.
Gotta stay ahead of the curve.
What other trends are we seeing?
Another major trend is the rising cost of healthcare.
That's a global issue.
It is, and India is no exception. As those healthcare expenses keep climbing, the demand for insurance is only going to increase.
Which makes Medi Assist's role even more important.
Absolutely. They're helping to manage those costs, making healthcare more accessible and affordable.
Right, bridging that gap between healthcare providers and payers.
And their focus on technology could really be a game changer in controlling those costs and improving efficiency.
Speaking of technology, what role do you see that playing in their future? Will they continue pushing the boundaries?
Technology is going to be absolutely crucial to their success going forward.
They're already leading the way with AI, automation, data analytics.
But they can't afford to stand still. They need to keep innovating, developing new solutions.
So what are some concrete examples of how they could use technology to shape the future of healthcare? What's next for them?
Well, imagine a world where you have a personalized health insurance plan
Okay.
tailored specifically to your needs, your lifestyle.
Like a bespoke health insurance plan.
Yeah, exactly. Medi Assist could use AI to analyze your health data, predict your future healthcare needs.
And create a customized plan, more comprehensive and affordable.
Exactly. No more paying for coverage you don't need.
That would be amazing. What else?
They could also become a leader in preventive healthcare.
Okay.
Right now, health insurance is mostly about covering you when you get sick.
Right, it's reactive.
What if it could help you stay healthy in the first place?
That would be a huge shift.
They could use their data and AI to identify high-risk individuals, offer personalized wellness programs.
Early interventions, incentives for healthy habits.
Exactly, moving from a payer of claims to a partner in health.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Any other potential technological leaps we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, what else?
Well, telehealth has huge potential.
Right, virtual consultations, remote monitoring.
Imagine consulting with a doctor from your own home,
That would make healthcare much more accessible.
especially for people in remote areas.
So they're not just managing claims, they're becoming a holistic healthcare partner.
That's the idea.
It's a pretty exciting vision for the future, but let's be realistic. What potential roadblocks could they face along the way? What could derail their plans?
Well, the regulatory landscape is always a challenge, as we've discussed.
Right, constantly changing.
They need to stay agile, adapt to those new rules.
What else?
Data privacy and security, that's going to be a major concern.
Especially with all the sensitive health data they handle.
They need to invest in cybersecurity, build trust with their customers, be transparent about their data practices.
It's a balancing act, leveraging data for innovation while protecting privacy.
It's not just about technology, it's about ethics and responsibility.
So a lot to consider as they move forward. But despite the challenges, it seems like they're well positioned for success.
Yeah.
What's your overall assessment of their future prospects?
I think they have a very bright future. They're at the forefront of this rapidly growing industry.
Their commitment to technology and innovation sets them apart.
The choices they make in the coming years will not only impact their trajectory, but could shape the future of healthcare in India.
It's a story worth following. As India's population grows, healthcare needs become more complex. Companies like Medi Assist will play a crucial role.
Absolutely, ensuring access to quality, affordable healthcare.
Who knows what they'll come up with next?
It's going to be an exciting journey.
Okay, folks, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive into Medi Assist, but we're not done yet.
Nope.
We'll be right back in a moment to wrap things up and leave you with some final thoughts. Welcome back. So we've really gone deep into the world of Medi Assist, their financials, their tech, even the challenges they're up against.
It's a pretty fascinating story, isn't it?
It is, but what I'm really curious about is what the future holds for them. What's next for this company that seems to be, right at the forefront of healthcare innovation in India?
Well, as we all know, predicting the future is never easy. But
Right.
I think there's some pretty clear signals pointing to a bright future for them.
Okay.
As we discussed earlier, the Indian healthcare landscape is transforming.
Yeah.
The demand for health insurance, it's skyrocketing.
Driven by, well, a lot of factors, right?
Absolutely. Growing population, those rising healthcare costs, more people understanding the importance of coverage.
And Medi Assist is right there, ready to take advantage.
They're in the right place at the right time.
But we've also talked about those challenges, the competition, regulations, the whole balancing act of growth and profitability.
Right, right. How do you see those playing out?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think they're going to continue to be factors, but Medi Assist seems well equipped to handle them.
Okay.
They have a deep understanding of the market, they're committed to innovation, and their financials are strong. They're not just reacting, they're anticipating and proactively shaping their strategy.
They're staying ahead of the game.
Exactly.
So what specific steps do you think they could take to really, solidify that leadership position, to shape the future of healthcare in India?
Well, one area where they could really make a big impact is in personalized health insurance.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
Imagine, your health insurance plan. It's not this one-size-fits-all thing,
Yeah.
but it's actually tailored to your specific needs, your lifestyle.
Like a custom-made plan.
Exactly. Medi Assist could use AI and data analytics to analyze your health data,
Okay.
predict your future needs, and then create a plan that's, both comprehensive and affordable.
So no more paying for things you don't need.
Exactly.
That would be a huge change.
What else?
Yeah. What else could they do to push the boundaries?
Well, they could also become a leader in preventive health care.
Okay.
Right now, health insurance is mostly about reacting when you're sick.
Right. Paying for treatment.
But what if it could help you stay healthy?
Proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly.
How could they do that?
Leveraging their data, their AI capabilities to identify high-risk individuals, offer them, personalized programs.
Early interventions,
Yeah.
incentives to stay healthy.
Yeah, so they're not just a payer, but a partner in your health and wellness.
A real partner.
A big shift.
That would be a big shift.
What about telehealth?
Oh, yeah, that's a hot topic.
Huge potential there.
Being able to consult with a doctor from home without having to, go to a clinic or a hospital.
Imagine that they could partner with telehealth providers to offer, virtual consultations, remote monitoring, those kinds of things.
Making healthcare more accessible for everyone, especially people in those rural areas.
Exactly. It's about breaking down those barriers.
So it sounds like they could really transform how healthcare is delivered, how it's experienced in India.
They have that potential for sure.
But we can't forget those challenges, those roadblocks.
You're right. The regulatory landscape is constantly evolving. They'll need to stay agile.
Data privacy and security.
Huge concerns. They'll need to invest in cybersecurity, build trust with their customers, be very transparent about their data practices.
So they have a lot to consider, but it seems like they're ready to face those challenges head on.
I think they are.
Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
I think Medi Assist is a company worth watching. They're at the forefront of this dynamic industry.
They're leading the way in innovation and customer focus.
The decisions they make in the coming years will be interesting to follow. They could have a real impact on the future of healthcare in India.
It's an inspiring story, a company that's growing, innovating, and really committed to making a difference.
I agree.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Medi Assist.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something.
It's a complex industry.
It is. Keep exploring, stay curious, and keep asking those questions.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the better equipped you are to navigate the healthcare landscape.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into something new and fascinating.
Looking forward to it.